Is it time for recess yet? I'm so glad you found time to join us here on the Childcare Director's Chair, where Erica Sacoccio shares her best practices that she's refined through her passion of directing childcare centers over the last 23 years. From parenting interaction, systems to save you time, money, and stress, to profitability. She shares it all from the Childcare Director's Chair.
Hey guys, it's Erica with the Childcare Director's Chair podcast. I am so happy you're here today, and I'm so excited. We have a returning guest. We have Dr. Calvin Moore from the Council of Professional Recognition, and we're going to talk about some of the changes that are coming up for CDA candidates, what's staying the same, what's changing, and all the things you need to know. So welcome to the show, Dr. Moore.
Oh, Erica, we're friends, so you can call me Calvin now, but thank you. Yes, my delight to be here with you and your listeners.
So a lot of things going on in the landscape, for sure, but let's talk specifically about what's new at the council. What do people need to know in terms of the CDA process? Maybe let's just start with that. Like, what's new for the CDA process, if you can explain a little bit about that and why it's so important. Hey, it's Erica here, and I've got something super exciting to share with you. If you're in the world of early childhood education, you cannot miss the Early Childhood Empowerment Conference. And I'm not just saying that. Trust me, this is where the magic happens. Over the course of 3 days, we're all about learning, connecting, and reigniting that spark that brought you into the field in the first place. And let me tell you, this conference is packed with goodness. Day one is all about leadership. We've got 5 incredible presenters who will walk you through the business side of running your program. Plus, it's more intimate, a retreat-style day with only 80 administrators, so you'll get tons of face time and an opportunity to connect. And to close out the day, a fun, hilarious comedy show and dinner with Jay Yoder from the Board Teacher Comedy Tour. He graces the stages all over the country. Day 2 is a day full-blown conference with 50 vendors, 14 amazing speakers, plus 2, not 1, but 2 keynote addresses that will leave your head full of fresh ideas. Oh, and did I mention, you can also get a free professional headshot. You can even hop on an ECE podcast and share your expertise with the world. So much fun packed into one day. And then day 3, you get to relax. We're heading over to Urban Sweat, where you can treat yourself however you want. Whether you want to unwind in a Himalayan salt cave, you want to get into a yoga class, or just enjoy a relaxing massage, you will leave totally recharged. You can book your services directly with Rafa and pick exactly what you need. So are you in? Don't miss out 3 days of empowerment, inspiration, and just pure connection with your ECE community. I can't wait to see you there. So let's do this. Links below. See you soon.
Well, first I want to say that we are celebrating our 50th anniversary of the CDA. And so we're very excited about that. The CDA has been around for 50 years. And so we're going to be doing a number of things in celebration of that. And one of the things that is coming back really next week, February 1st, is the Renewal Amnesty. So if you have not renewed your CDA, I think we're going back as far as 2020. You can renew this year if your CDA has expired. In recognition of our 50th anniversary, we're allowing people to come back, and we're looking forward to that. Renewal Amnesty is always popular. I've already gotten some comments from folks because we announced it right before the holiday. And so we're excited about that. We're also going to be, and this may be a first, I don't know if anyone knows this, so Eric, I'm making news with your listeners.
I love it.
We are going to be, I think in the summer, June or July, giving folks an opportunity to apply to have a 0 to 5 credential. You know, if you're a center-based program, you can get your infant toddler credential or your preschool credential. But beginning this summer, you'll be able to apply for a 0 to 5 credential. So essentially, you'll have both, both settings in your one CDA. And this was something that was asked for by our CDA holders, and we're just responding to the wants and desires of the field. And we've heard from program directors; they love the idea. Head Start directors love the idea, and it gives people a lot more flexibility. But you still have the option if you want to have an infantile or a preschool. But we think that a lot of people will like this idea, and we're looking forward to offering that. And finally, we are trying to improve our resources and services to PDSs. And we started this bonus last year where we gave bonuses to PDSs based on the number of observations they completed. And we're going to continue that bonus structure for 2025.
That's a lot of great stuff. I can say from a director or owner perspective, I love that flexibility for my staff to be able to get, core competencies and trainings and, different age groups, because let's face it, there are many times where we have to be a little more flexible than
That's
we
right.
used to, right? So I do love that, because I always did feel very strongly, because I have so many different age groups at my program, I always felt really strongly on having people not only cross-train, but to be really good at the areas that they're working in and to have that
That's
knowledge,
right.
because, obviously working with a school-age child looks a whole lot different than a pre-K and a whole lot different than an infant. So I think it's really important for folks to get that well-rounded training and think about, my teaching philosophy. It might look a little bit different. Obviously, the core values are going to be the same, but it might look a little different with the ages that I'm working with. And
That's
so
right.
I love that you have some flexibility there with different age groups.
And just to be clear, Erica, folks who already have a credential will be able to renew it with the 0 to 5 option as well. So if you're an infantile teacher and you'd rather be 0 to 5 when you renew, part of our protocol will be allowing them to renew at the 0 to 5 option as well.
So let me ask you, the amnesty, did that come from COVID, do you think, that you guys felt like, let's extend that? Or was there something that you felt like maybe there were common challenges that candidates were facing that, during that application process, so they needed a little more extension? Or where did that come from, the thought behind that?
So we've offered amnesty. I think the first amnesty was offered under Dr. Valor Washington when she was heading the council. And we did have an amnesty that was happening during COVID, but it has since ended. And so one of my VPs, Abina Okran Jackson, when we were talking about ways in which we can celebrate the CDA this year, she came up with the idea of offering a CDA amnesty again. And it's very popular. But we've only offered it a couple times in our history, and we felt like we'd offer it again. And already people are responding well to the announcement.
Yeah. So I know when we had talked previously last week, I have 5 employees at my school alone that are going through the process, and one of them will be able to do the amnesty program because
That's
hers
right.
was, in that time frame. And she was very happy about it. So I think that people at the ground level definitely appreciate that, especially with the challenges that folks have had, in the last couple of years. Just I think helping people get back on track and get back into the normalcy, I guess, if that's the word we'll use. But this is the new face of education, and so we
Well,
have
a lot happened after the pandemic. People left. A lot of childcare organizations closed, and so people might have gotten caught up in that changing landscape, as you mentioned, and allowed their CDA to expire, and now they want to come back into the field. So I think having this amnesty is coming at the right time.
Yeah, and I think too, maybe perhaps when centers closed and they've moved into new locations and new companies, maybe some of those companies have more of support around CDA. Because I know when people come to me and I start talking to employees about CDA, they're like, "Oh, my old job, they never talked about this at my old job."
Right.
So I
Right.
think too, you might see that as you transition into new programs, most of the programs that are now still operating are looking at how do we take this workforce, many of them, I don't want to say entry level, but a lot
Yeah.
of entry level folks, right? How
True.
do we help reprofessionalize the folks that we're working with now? And a lot of us are doing a lot of work to make that happen. I know I'm certainly
Yes.
not the only one. And we did lose a lot of tenure staff, and
That's
especially the
right.
senior staff. A lot of them
Hmm.
retired and took early retirement. And I know I'm not the only one. So, are there any changes around the application process, or any resources or tools that people should look for to help them along the way?
So we are going to be looking at making some changes with the application. We're building a new CRM, and that's going to be a platform that we hope will make it easier for people to apply. For example, it's going to be mobile friendly, so you could actually apply for your CDA on your mobile phone, for example. So we want to make some of those changes. And then we want to streamline the renewal process so that it's touchless, and that will reduce the time that it takes for people to get their credential. And the other thing that I want to say about the process itself is that we're giving people a better flow for the assessment process. For example, we'd like people to take their test first and then do their observation, because what we found when we did the research is that people do better when they take the test closer to when they've had their training and teacher prep experiences. And then if they take the test first, then the rest of the assessment process goes really smoothly, because some people have test anxiety. It's fraught with a lot of anxiousness for the candidate, and so we don't want them to delay that process. We want them to get that part of it, which is often the most difficult part, over with. And so that we can help them with that, we're going to be releasing additional webinars and resources about test anxiety, about the Pearson VUE site, and making sure people know that there are accommodations that we offer if you need accommodation. Some people might want to take the test verbally as opposed to going into a Pearson VUE site. So we'll be more open-minded about test accommodations for those people who just may not be able to do well in a computer generated situation. And then finally, one of the things that I'm really working on and helping my staff to see is that maybe folks need additional resources like sample tests, things like that. Other than the workbook that we offer, let's find additional resources that we can wrap around the candidate so that they can be successful.
Yeah, one of my staff had asked that too. Is there like a practice test or something? And
Exactly.
and I think that people just find that practice of doing the practice test helps ease that anxiety too, right?
Yes.
It helps them be like,
Yes.
all right, I do know this stuff. Yeah,
That's
I
right.
can
That's
see
right.
I can see that can be very valid.
So it's coming real soon. I talked to my
Sure.
director of research today, and they're working on it.
Yeah, and I love how in touch you guys are with the folks that are going through the process and really taking their feedback and then implementing it. I really do appreciate that. As somebody who's been a candidate, currently supports candidates, yeah, I appreciate that you guys do that. What should candidates who are starting to think about their CDA, what should they consider when they're preparing for the application process? Any words of wisdom?
Well, two things. One of the things that I really like to talk to candidates about is to really be careful about where they're getting their training, because a lot of people out there are doing CDA training, but they want to make sure that they, make a really good choice, particularly if they're paying for the training, because what we've found out is that some training organizations don't do portfolio prep. And so they just do the training hours, but they don't help the candidate to prepare their professional portfolio. Another thing that we've heard a lot is that they don't help them understand the CDA process. So many of them don't know that they're going to have to choose a PDS. They don't know that there's going to be an exam. And so we want to make sure that we inform candidates about the entire process and make sure that they choose a training organization, even if their own childcare organization is doing their training. We want them to be properly prepared to go through the assessment process.
Do you have a video, or is there something already put together that kind of talks about the different steps?
Oh yes, and we can share those videos with you. We have videos that talks about the entire process. We also have videos that talk about the Pearson View site. We have videos that talk about our accommodation request. And if you would like to have those so you can post them, just shoot me an email, Eric, and I'll share those with you, because we want people to know that those resources are available to them for free.
Yeah, we'll put them in the links below this show, this episode.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
sounds good. The role of professional development and ongoing education. How big of a role is that in terms of your CDA? Now, once it's earned, like, how important is it for people to continue that professional development?
Oh, it's very important. CDA is just the first step. I got my CDA in 1992, and I continued to renew my CDA until I got my bachelor's degree, which was in 1999. So that period of time between 1992 and 1999, I had professional development experiences at the center where I worked. And so I always encourage program directors or owners of daycare facilities to offer those professional development experiences. Make sure that you document them with certificates so that the CDA earner can get their CDA renewed within that 3-year period. But go on and work on additional credentials. We hope that the CDA understands that it's the first step in their growth as a professional, but it's not the last step, and that they can choose what the next step is, whether it's to continue to renew your CDA or go on to earn your AA degree or your bachelor's degree. It's up to the individual, but we want them to continue to grow as an educator.
Yeah. Can you talk about how somebody becomes a mentor or helps other folks? Like, say you've earned your CDA and now you want to help other folks. Talk a little bit about that. Because we have some leaders that listen on this show. So tell them.
Yes. One of the things that I know for sure is that once a person earns their CDA, they can help someone else if they're on their journey because they've been through the process. And so I hope that CDAs will carry it forward by helping someone else earn their credentials. And if they go on to earn an AA degree, then they can qualify to be a PDS, so they can go out and conduct those observation visits. So there are opportunities in our field for people to be a mentor. They just have to pursue it, right? And help others get their CDA. I know when I was growing in my field, I became a PDS and helped others. I think back then it was called a CDA rep. But yeah, we want people to give back to their field, and what better way is to help someone else get their CDA?
Yeah. So as we start to wrap up, in your opinion, how does earning a CDA influence the broader early childhood field, and what impact does it have on the workforce as a whole?
Listen, if I had my way, I would, tell everyone in the system, right? Whether you're a CCDF administrator, whether you're a business owner like you, Erica, or if you are a person that's working at a 2-year, 4-year institution training aspiring teachers, that the CDA needs to be a required credential for anyone working with young children. This is entry-level credential, just like a driver's license, right? When you get that driver's license, you've passed an exam and you've actually had a road test. So 9 times out of 10, you can be a pretty good driver when you have that driver's license. Well, I view the CDA as a type of driver's license. It really lets parents and others know that you are prepared to do this job. And so I think it's important because in our field, we are not as respected as we should be, whether it's status or pay. And I think earn a credential like the CDA would go a long way to professionalizing our field.
Yeah, I could not agree with that more. For those who might be considering a CDA, what's one piece of advice you would give them to help them make the decision to stay motivated through the process, because this takes time.
It does take time, and it's a process that you have to be patient. It's not going to be easy achieving the 120 clock hours of training, but I would tell them to really hang in there and persist in the process, because, getting that credential at the end is going to be so exciting for them. I remember when I earned my CDA, I got the credential in the mail from the council. I was so excited. I ran and told my mom. I jumped in the car and ran over to my mom's house. My mom had earned her CDA many, many years ago, and I let her know we got another CDA in the family. I was so excited, right? And we want to celebrate with them. So hang in there, be patient, go through the process, don't quit, because at the end, not only are you going to be rewarded for all of your hard work, there is a credential that nobody can take from you that you earned that says to the world, I know what I'm doing.
Lastly, what are you most excited about in 2025 when it comes to the future of the CDA and early childhood education?
Well, I think I'm most excited about the fact that early childhood educators are still one of the greatest fields and greatest set of people that I've met in my lifetime, in my career. There's nobody like an early childhood educator. Nobody, that I've met. I've met a lot of people in other fields, but there's something unique and special about the people who are caring for young children. And that keeps me excited about 2025. I know that people are, maybe anxious about all the changes that's happening at the federal level and sometimes at the state level. But I would just say our future is bright, because what most people know in this country, that the people that care for children are essential and valuable to society. And we've just got to make sure that they know our stories and that we continue to do the great work that we're doing.
That's a great way to end. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would like to share with the listeners?
Well, one thing that I'd like to share with your listeners, let them know that we are open to their recommendations, anything that they want to tell us about their CDA experience. We really want to know the full story, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, so that we can make things better. And so please don't hesitate to share my email address with folks, because we want to hear from them, because they may have the best suggestion that can improve our system, and we want to know what that suggestion is.
And you guys have a conference coming up. You have something coming up soon?
We do have a conference coming up in October,
Okay.
and it's going to be in Orlando this year. And I can share the link with you. I think that the link for registration is going to be open next week. So I'll make sure I get you that link as well. And one of the things we're going to be celebrating at the conference is the 40th anniversary of the council and the 10th anniversary of the conference itself. So it's going to be a big party in Orlando in October.
Okay, sounds good. I always love going to Florida, so maybe I'll get to see you there.
I'm sure we can work something out.
I think I'm going to come. I think I'll put in an RFP. You accepting RFPs?
Yes.
I'm gonna put an RFP in.
There you go.
And I want to thank you so much for always truly just being so open, honest, candid, being accessible. Sometimes it's hard to get, when you talk about big organizations, sometimes it's hard to get folks, in the seat, in the director's chair, if you will. So I do appreciate you always being so gracious and giving your time. We really do.
And Erica, you're having a conference soon, aren't you?
We are having a conference in May, the Early Childhood Empowerment Conference, which we will, of course, put in the links below. But yeah, we're super excited. We have such amazing speakers from all over the country. This is our first conference, and I could not believe the outpouring of love. Well, I should, because like you said, early childhood folks are just like no other. I have friends flying in from Texas, California. I'm just like blown away. I'm like, I mean,
let me know how we can sponsor. We'd love to sponsor. I think you sent me a sponsorship package, but we are certainly going to be there, even if it's just having our logo in the place.
Well, we would love that. And
perfect.
Yeah, I just the support of folks has just been unbelievable. So I appreciate everybody. Okay, so for those of you listening, thank you so much. Down below, we're going to leave you a ton of links on this show. We're going to connect you with the CDA's conference, our conference, also those resources that you're looking for to connect with the CDA. Listen, folks, if you don't have a CDA and you're just trying to figure out where to get started, they're going to help you. Everything you need is there, right? If you're still stuck, you guys have my number. Text the show. I'd be happy to help you. I've done my CDA. My daughter's done her CDA. I have multiple staff that I have helped get their CDA. And I know tons of folks that do training at the professional level that have training companies that will also help you with your CDA if you need that. So everything you need is right here in the Child Care Director's Chair. See you later. Bye.
Bye now.
Well, all the cute little kiddos have been picked up and it's time to go home. And that'll do it for another episode of the Child Care Director's Chair. Please leave a review so Erica knows the information is helping you to manage and improve your childcare centers. Remember to subscribe to get the latest episode from Erica's Child Care Director's Chair.